What's good, Jealous? It's Colby Cooper, and even this boy from Anderson County listens to Gainin Fast on Memphis with Aaron Schreiber.
Out of a boy from Anderson County.
Welcome to the Gainin Fast on Memphis podcast with Aaron Schreiber, brought to you by Arlo Revolution. Each week, Aaron connects melodies and memories with fans and artists from all genres of life. When all else in life is gone, only music will be left to leave the legacy of life's adventures. Please welcome your host for the Gainin Fast on Memphis podcast, Aaron Schreiber.
What is going on, everybody? I am so excited for tonight. I'm ready for this one. I'm ready for this one for a long time. All right. If you guys are listening in the chat out there, drop where you're listening from. Drop some likes if you can, so we know we're sounding okay. Once we get the thumbs up over here, we'll start rolling with the show. What are you thinking?
I feel like you're a little echoey online. Maybe check your...
Online a little echoey? All right, well, let's check this. Does it sound a little better now?
Yeah.
All right, we look good.
That's good. Okay.
We look good?
Yep.
All right, cool.
Let's go.
All right, well, if you're saying let's go then. I'm ready.
We matched tonight.
I didn't know that until I'm rocking my Nantucket shirt from a little
I feel like your mom and dad who match all the time.
That's
no
funny.
matter what, they always walk out in the same color.
If you are, we're actually trying something a little new tonight. For the first time ever, we are live on LinkedIn. So it's always just been before Facebook and YouTube, but tonight we try to do a little something different. So if you are watching on LinkedIn, and comment for us so we know it's actually working. I always like to see if things are working before you start off and whatever. All right. Ready? Let's do it. Hello and welcome everyone to season 5 of the Gainin Fast on Memphis podcast, a place where we connect melodies and memories with fans, artists, and passionate-driven individuals in and around the music community. I'm your host, Aaron Schreiber.
And I'm your co-host, Jillian Schreiber.
Our mission tonight is to provide a platform for passionate singer-songwriters, motivated fans, or just someone who's making a difference in the world and is willing to share their stories. We hope everyone listening leaves inspired with a positive outlook on life and begins connecting their own memories with melodies. One of these weeks, I want to get that right without stumbling through that read. Every week I stumble on that read. I want to get that. No, tonight we are presented by our good friends over at Arlo Revolution, cinematic wedding films, music videos, promos, and you can find them at arlorevolution.com. One tree planted. For every 1,000 downloads of the show, we plant a tree with one tree planted. Download the show today on your favorite podcast apps. And last but not least, our good friends over at Poddex. Poddex are the hottest tool to get your next great interview. Unique interview questions in the palm of your hand. We'll utilize them a little later in the show. They're always fun to use. And then our on-screen sponsors tonight, Art on a Higher Wire by Joelle, original custom artwork, inspired by your life moments, treasured photos, and memories. And our good buddy, Corey Oliphant in the original church choir. Each week, I'm honored to have him as part of the sponsorship program we have. So if you want to check all that out, hop over our Patreon. Tiers start at just $1. Like I say every week, if you sign up for 1 year, I think you get 2 months for free. It's $10 for a whole year if that gets some little bonus content. We're going to relaunch a whole new Patreon in January, though. So I definitely would want you to get in earlier than later. So check that out. If Patreon is something you can't do right now, anywhere you're listening to the show, if you could like, share, review, subscribe us, anything you can do to help grow the show, that's fun. We're trying to see where we can get. We're almost at 3,000 followers over on Instagram. We're going to keep pushing it. We got some really cool things going. I got a really busy week coming up, so I cannot wait. And that'll be our little intro before we get on this week. Well, you're going to be part of it a little bit. I just booked another one today, so it's going to be fun. Thursday, I'm going to be out in Milwaukee at the Rave for Jelly Roll, and you'll be there. Jelly Roll and Still Matthews. We have an interview with Still Matthews, but playing earlier that night is Noah Hicks on another stage. We're going to be interviewing him. So if you guys not heard Noah Hicks, check him out. Saturday, we're going to see Flatland Cavalry. That's going to be a fun one. And now Sunday, I'm really excited for this one. Arlo McKinney and Justin Wells in Milwaukee. I'm going to go check this show out Sunday evening. So really busy weekend. Four interviews in 4 days.
I like how you told me this live on air.
No, you already knew.
Surprise, honey. We have 4 or 5 interviews.
You already knew about the 2. You already knew about the 2 or 4. So the other 2.
I'm excited.
You're not
That's
going to be part of it.
Very cool.
Yes, David, Noah is badass. So I'm going to be talking with him Thursday. So watch our socials. So I'll be posting that Thursday or Friday. Arlo McKinney, I have been waiting to see this guy for a long time. So I'm definitely excited. But it's going to be a fun weekend. So keep an eye on all of our socials. Fast on Memphis _podcast. But yeah, so You ready for tonight?
I'm
I am so ready for
excited.
this one, guys. You guys are for a treat, and it's pretty cool. I always talk about karma. I always talk about good things or signs or that. I'm going through a box of old stuff today. I find a ticket stub from 1980, Waylon Jennings. I said I would find that on all days. I would find that it would be this one. I wasn't even born in 1980. It's my parents' ticket stub. So, but tonight we welcome in singer-songwriter and guitarist Kevin Frenchie Sciou. I want to make sure I get that right. I hope I got that right. Kevin made the leap from France to LA with $200 and a backpack. Next thing he knows, Waylon Jennings is helping him become a citizen, which is a crazy story. Just wait for this. Kevin has been grinding since he's picked up a guitar, and he's been one hell of a journey. I'm so honored tonight to have him on to discuss memories and melodies that make up his journey. So let's go ahead and welcome Frenchie on. I'm tripping on my words. Very good. All right, buddy, you there?
You're doing a great job.
Oh, dude, I'm so excited. I'm like tripping up all my words over here.
Did he get it right?
It's actually Sciou, but Sciou is pretty close.
I was asking right before
I'll
we
take
went. I'm like, is it Sciou or Sciou?
Yeah.
I'll take it.
First off, if you guys need to introduce this guy or want to meet this guy further, check out the Jack and Around podcast with him. One of why I am interviewing him tonight, because I was so inspired by the interview. I just wanted to get that out there. But that's where you and I kind of met, and then we had a mutual friend that hooked us up, Roger. But
Yes,
dude,
right. Yeah.
Thank you for spending some time with me tonight, because you have such an interesting story to tell.
I don't think we got enough time, do we?
We're going to try to tell as much of it. That's why I wanted to share a little bit, because what we don't cover, you can definitely hop over on the Jack and Around podcast, because definitely is a good place to lay the groundwork for you. Dude, I want to go throw it all the way back to France, to when you're running around the house. Maybe your parents are playing the vinyl. Your earliest music memory, dude. Like what's playing in the house? What did your parents growing you up on, dude?
Oh, so you probably read in the bio that my dad had a big record collection. He had about a couple thousand records, and it was all 60s, early 70s, boogie, blues, rock. So, of course, from the obvious Rolling Stones, Beatles, Animals, all those bands. And we also had an extensive record collection that had a lot of blues in it. A lot of early rhythm and blues, like Stax Records.
Hell yeah, man.
And all that. So I grew up basically on the original music, which is blues, Howlin' Wolf and Muddy Waters and people like that. And then the early Rolling Stones, early Animals, early Pretty Things. Then going into Canned Heat, Grand Funk Railroad, Mountain, and not much country music, to tell you the truth.
Yeah.
Well, actually, zero country music. It was all big guitars and loud riffs and all American music.
But if that stuff was put out today, though, if it was put out in today's world, some of that, like you said, Canned Heat, some of that I would say would consider country music, dude. Look at Eagles and
Some
stuff.
of the songs, yeah. I mean, I think it's probably why I have an affinity for country music,
Yeah.
and I have in recent years, just because I had the, it was all connected musically, I think.
Mhm.
So yeah, I grew up on all that. And
Did you have much live music growing up at all in France? Like, is there a big live scene around you? Or what do you remember going to, like, your first live show over there?
Well, my first live show that my dad took me to was a concert by the Inmates, and that's a band from England. They were like a pub rock, like kind of like Dr. Feelgood, Inmates. It was like a 80s revival scene back then. So I was born in 80, so that was about 1988. And it took me to the concert, and it was really loud, and it was awesome. I was a fan of the band already at 8 years old.
Yeah.
I had my first record player when I was 7, so I already had my dad would feed me records, And,
I was born in 82, so we were really close. And my dad took me to see Kiss in 97, I think it was. And that's what broke me in.
yeah, there you go. So I was 8 years old. My dad took me to the front of the stage, and I was in awe looking at the singer, and the guitar player was left-handed like me, playing Les Paul, and I knew the songs, and it was, I don't think there was a point of return after that.
You were hooked, huh?
It still took me a couple of years before I picked up a guitar, but that was already the grounds for
So
what
put the
became
plug
after.
in.
So you're 14 when you picked up the guitar, man.
I was actually 12.
12. Okay, I thought. Okay,
Yeah,
all right.
11, 12. I can't really remember, but yeah, it was 12 as well.
So when you first held that guitar, man, does this feel comfortable? Did it feel right to you? Now, how
Well-
was that? How was that first experience with it?
So being left-handed, my parents ordered a guitar online. Well, not online in '92, but they called a shop in Paris. I'm from the south of France that specialized in left-handed guitars. So I got a copy of a Stratocaster, and it was sent in the mail a week later. And I didn't know what to do with it. I was just staring at it. I had it on a stand, and I would play my video games and just look at it, thinking
Yeah.
like, I want to play this thing, but I don't know how. So my dad came home from work one night, and he said, "We didn't buy you a guitar for it to be, sitting on a stand. You got to play this thing, and if you keep playing video games, you're gonna be, gonna amount to nothing." I'm like, "Well, you're gonna be yelling at me. I don't know how to begin." See, they bought me a book. It was called 15 Minutes a Day to Learn How to Play the Guitar, and he goes, "Just do 15 minutes a day. Once you're up with your 15 minutes, you can go on to your video games, go play with your friends, and do whatever." And I thought, well, that's a pretty good deal.
Mhm.
So the first day I did 15 minutes, second day, third day, and turned into 30 minutes, turned into an hour, and turned into 8 to 10 to 12 hours sometimes a day.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah, we have a
A
7-year-old
7-year-old.
now, and he's getting cured. Well, I trifected the boys. I want to say. So my 7-year-old, his first show when he was 5 was Kiss, and
Yeah.
then we have a 4-year-old. His first show a couple months ago was Kiss. So all 3 of them got to see Kiss. Now they want a guitar. They want to
She
play.
want to start playing.
Right before I came down here, I'm like, always strum down. Always like I'm trying to help them out and teach
So
them
it
how to
sounds
play.
like
But
it's generational. I mean, you went to see Kiss, and now they're going to see Kiss.
Yeah.
yeah, it's running in the family, man. So he's definitely wanting to try
He
to
wants
play.
to learn. Yep. He
And
wants
luckily,
to
I
learn.
had some guitars around the house. I'm like, here you
Well,
go. man.
take him to Guns N' Roses next year when they tour again.
Dude.
Go see Slash. That'll be
Yeah.
good.
So we're big Eric Church fans, and that's
There you
kinda
go.
what led into this. And we're actually, my oldest has seen, he's 7. He's seen Eric Church a couple times, but it's been like a private fan club thing.
Yeah.
We're going to take him to his first arena show at Madison Square Garden in New York City in May. So that's how we're going to break him in.
They're getting spoiled. That's good.
Definitely got to take them to the legendary places. So, man, your first, you're in a cover band, Route 66 over there. Where did you get that from? Other than the highway here, I know you got it tattooed on you. Was your love for just American music just that strong that's where how did that band name come from?
Well, the Rolling Stones covered the song on their first album. And Rolling Stones is a big influence on the family, on me. And that was actually a band that existed before I even played music. That was one of my dad's friends. There were 3 brothers, and they formed that band in the early 80s. And they kind of stopped playing for a while until I came around. And the bass player, Francis, one day my dad called me because you got to come by the house. They were all fantastic musicians. He goes, "You got to come by the house. My kid, I don't know if he's good or not, but he's playing all this along to those songs. Just check it out." And so he came by the house only to see me, and I played along some Pretty Things and 60s band from England. And he didn't say much. He was going like this, And next thing you know, we played together for most of my teenage years.
Wow.
And so that's where the name Route 66 came from. But it's kind of like, if you think of going to France, you want to go see the Eiffel Tower, right? We're from the south of France. 2 places you want to go see is Texas and Route 66.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's cool.
Okay.
We did a little part of Route 66 this past June, and it was really cool. I know my uncle did a big show. I actually did the whole thing not too long ago, and I love to do the whole thing before it's kind of it's a memory.
Yeah, I love it. I love the Southwest myself, so the desert and all that.
That's awesome, man. So when you're 20 years old, you got to do a decision in life. I mean, well, I had here you were skipping school to play guitar and everything else. We were always skipping school to do shit and everything else.
Yeah.
I heard something. I heard one of the things. I got to steal one of these stories real quick. You would go, and this is funny because I do the same thing. I used to live like probably 2 blocks from my school. And I knew when my parents would leave, and I knew when they would get home.
Uh-huh.
And I had it timed out perfectly. And I knew when I had to be home, and I knew when I didn't have to be home.
Yeah.
Like, it would look like I went to school, and I got away with it every time and time until that phone call came in. So and you were doing the same thing, but you're going just back home to play guitar, huh?
Yeah, they called my dad's work one day, and the superintendent said, "Well, how's Kevin doing?" That is like, "Wow, he's doing great. Thanks for asking." We haven't seen him in school for 3 weeks, so we're kind of worried. He goes, "That's impossible. He's going to school every morning."
Yeah.
She goes, "No, he hasn't." So he goes, "All right, well, we'll figure this out." And he comes home and he says, "Hey, how was school today?" I'm like, just same old. Well, I got a call from school, and I just went, "Oh no." He goes, "What you been?"
Gig was up. The gig was up.
He goes, "What you been doing?" I said, "Practicing guitar." And he goes, "All right." I was like, "That's it?" He goes, "Well, I got to tell your mom." And I'm like, "Oh no, don't tell mom." And but yeah, that's what I would do. And I dropped out of school. And after a while, after playing all the places I could play in and around my hometown, it just became too small. And I've always wanted to come to the States, but it was just seemed impossible. So I moved to London, England, and spent almost a year over there. And I had some good times. I didn't really do much, but it was a good introduction to life outside of my home and also life outside of France. And eventually, I knew it wasn't my place. And so I sold the guitar, had a Gibson Les Paul that I sold, and bought a plane ticket for LA.
This is where karma comes in. He sells a Les
cool.
Paul. He buys a ticket because, dude, you grew up on a lot of American music. And I mean, I love it because you have the American flag right behind you. We were talking about the American dream and everything else. And
Yeah.
that's what it was. You see, okay, this is where my heart's taking me. This is where I need to go. And I love it as your journey goes on. I mean, your parents got a pretty cool phone call from somebody saying, "Hey, he's good here," but we're going to get into that right now. So you get to LA, and I don't know if I told you all about this. You know how I was going crazy around the house looking for a hard drive yesterday? I was like 4 years off. But I found it. So my wife's a huge Shooter Jennings fan, and we saw him in 2005, but it was with the current band or the band he had then.
Yeah.
So what was this, 2000? You were kind of just hanging out and you bumped into his drummer?
So yeah, it was so I moved to LA May of 2001, and I was there for 90 days, tourist visa or visa waiver as they called it. Staying in a hostel, where they have like backpackers and stuff.
Yeah.
I think it was like $8 a day to live there, and I picked up the paper. It's called Music Connection, and I started with my broken English calling people. If I saw a band looking for a guitar player and they had like Black Rose, Skinner, whatever, Allman Brothers, there's a lot of that at the time. That close enough, I'll call and hello, my French accent.
Yeah.
So I within the first 2 weeks, I got to jam with this guy named Joe Frostman, and Joe Frostman is from North Carolina. I think he's in Austin now, but he was running auditions to find a guitar player, and they had like 20, 30 guitar players, and it was a whole week of auditions, and every day they call me back, come back. And the last day was down between me and another guy named Slim.
Yep. I got old pictures of Slim, dude.
Oh yeah, so Slim has been playing with Lady A for a long time. I don't know if he's still playing, but
I saw Lady A back in the day. Well, they opened for Eric Church like in 2007. That's when I first met Slim, and him and I got connected then. So
yeah,
Jason is his first name, right, Jason?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And so it was in between him and I, and we played the show together. And at the end of the show, we went back to their rehearsal space, which happened to be next to Shooter's rehearsal space. And we had a party, there's girls and stuff, and there's like a big jam session, and I was playing Allman Brothers Whipping Post. And so Lex, who's a dear friend of mine, still to today, more like a brother, Lex happened to be practicing that night. They didn't have a rehearsal with Stargun, and he came up to me after the jam session, and he goes, I don't know if I told the story on Jack's podcast, but he goes, "Hey man, I'm Lex, and I play in the best rock and roll band in LA." I was like, "Oh, cool." He's good. "Have you ever heard of Waylon Jennings?" And I said, "Mm-mm." Then he goes, "Have you heard of Dukes of Hazzard?" And I said, "Mm-mm." And he's like, "Oh, okay, all right," the French guy. He goes, then he starts singing, "Just a good old boy I go, yeah, I remember that. But, it was called something else back in France. It was called Chérie, fais-moi peur. It's a French version. So I was like, oh, that's Dukes of Hazzard. And he said, yeah, I know. I remember I was a kid watching Dukes of Hazzard. And he goes, well, I have a band with his son Shooter. It's called Stargun, and we're going to be the next Guns N' Roses, and we need a guitar player. And I said, sold. So it was about 3 in the morning, 3:30 in the morning at this point. He calls up Shooter, who was still running around Hollywood with his girlfriend at the time. And he came by the studio. And needless to say, none of us were sober, but we played a few songs, and they said, where are you staying? I said, I'm staying right up the road. It was like off Hollywood Boulevard. The rehearsal space was off of Hollywood and Vine. And they said, well, we're going to get your bag right now, and you're coming with us. I said, all right, sounds good. And so I moved into the band house, and that was it. That was the start of my American experience.
Yeah, this is around the time where you were telling a story. I'm trying to see the Project Band. Is this around the time you got to play with them?
So that was 2 years later. So that was in 2003. Because
you ran around Stargun for a couple of years then.
Yeah, we were Stargun. It was 2001 to 2003, mid 2003, and we will see Matt Sorum, drummer for Guns N' Roses, will come to most of the shows. We had Tom Morello come to the shows from Rage Against the Machine. He was a good friend of ours.
Lives really close. He's like a half an hour from me, like where he lives. If he still is in the same house that he has, I think he lives in like Libertyville, Illinois. That's like 30 minutes from me.
Well, he's been in Hollywood for a long time, but
yeah. Well, he had he had the second house out here for a while.
Yeah, he's from Illinois. So we had all these cool rock and rollers coming to shows, and then one night Duff McKagan comes to the show, and then one night Slash come to the show, the Viper Room. We used to play there all the time, and so we got to know these folks, but then they were putting a band together, and they were auditioning singers, and they asked Shooter to do a couple concerts with them, like club shows. And the second show was at Sundance Film Festival in the club for premiere of a movie, and they didn't have a guitar player for it, so they asked me to do it. Sure. And we had a great night, party with Slash a little bit afterwards, and good rapport. But that was it. Shortly after that, Shooter disbanded Stargun, went solo, and moved to Texas.
That's shortly when we saw Shooter, but the band, The Project, one of our first dates was Velvet Revolver.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what they became. They became Velvet Revolver. They got Scott Weiland. So Shooter could have been fronting Velvet Revolver at one point until Scott Weiland from SPP. So that's why I was like, when I heard that story, I was like, dude, that's where it's cool, because when we first started dating, was it 2005? I think it was, we went and saw 2004. We went and saw Velvet Revolver in 2004 in Chicago here. They played a show, and dude, that was a hell of a band.
Yeah, I got to see them on both tours, the first and second album. First time was at the Granada Theater in Dallas. Packed house, and but yeah, they were cool. But LA was fun for me because I got to meet a lot of cool people and make some great connections that lasted for a while, and then I was able to go live my life. And Texas has been you
out to Texas from LA. So in between or before, it was probably before the Velvet Revolver and the Project thing. Waylon Jennings, dude. So you're it was an after party, or you're waking up, you're hearing Waylon and Jesse sing, dude, and you see this motorcycle. And this is what we were talking about. Motorcycle, dude. This is, come on. You got to share a little bit of that story too, real quick.
Well, so when I said yes to joining Stargun, I told Shooter, I said, well, look, I want to do it. Obviously, I didn't expect to get a gig right away, pretty much. And I said, I need to get a work visa. I need to get my papers in order. And he goes, well, I just asked my parents, I was like, cool. And then they wanted to meet me, so we drove to Chandler, Arizona, and spent the weekend with Waylon and Jesse. And so we spent a weekend there. The whole band was there. They had their relatives there, and so I slept on the couch. And on the Sunday morning, we had gone out, not with Waylon. Waylon was home, obviously, and Jesse too, but me and Shooter and a couple of the guys, we went out to the bars. I was still 20, but I got in the bars. Anyway, so we got really drunk, and I was hungover the next day, and I woke up to the sounds of music, and I looked up thinking it was the stereo or something. My head was pounding, and I just take my head out of the covers, and I see Waylon and Jesse sitting at the piano singing songs. So I just had a mini concert. They played don't know how many songs they played.
Wow.
That's
3 or
good.
4 or 5 at least, and then everybody got up, and Jesse cooked breakfast for everybody. And I asked Waylon as to there was a motorcycle in the living room on the podium, and I asked whose motorcycle it was, and he goes, "Well, that's Buddy's." And I said, "Buddy who?" "Buddy Holly." And I was just like, oh. And I took a picture on it. It's I think some on Instagram somewhere, yeah.
Nice, dude.
And so that was a pretty cool story. And I saw him again after he had the surgery. He went to the hospital and had surgery. His foot amputated. We all went over to the hospital and hang out with him. And that was the last time I saw him. After that, you know.
Yeah, I actually found when I was cleaning out today, I found that ticket stub from 1980. But then the next thing I found was a newspaper article from the day Waylon died. I was like,
Yeah.
I always saved everything, but I was like, I looked at that, I was like, that's kind of, I got to read that, but I'm like, that there's a reason why I found that stuff because we were going to talk about them tonight. I'm like, it was placed there for me to find that.
Right.
I believe in stuff like that all the time. So, but yeah, man, that was definitely it was a cool story. And he called. I said he called your parents to kind of tell them, hey, he's doing good, right? I mean, he's living.
Well, no, he didn't call because nobody speaks French, and my parents do not speak English.
Okay.
So it would have been a very short conversation. They were corresponding by letters. When Jesse sent a few letters over to them. So, and then after Waylon passed away, Jessie went and visited some friends in Paris, and she took a train ride and met with my parents because that's what Waylon wanted to do, was to meet my parents. So she went. So there's pictures. I think on my Instagram again. I think I posted one before of Jessie sitting in my living room where I used to practice guitar with my parents. And,
Aw, that's awesome.
Yeah, that's
so
cool that she still did that to honor, dude. That's cool, man.
Yeah.
yeah.
That gave me chills with that story there. I love that, man. That just gave me chills, dude. That's
Well,
that's
but
cool.
to me, beyond the fact that there are legends and music legends, they were parents and they acted like substitute parents
Yeah.
to make because I was crazy. I'm an only child. I was crazy and wild and left home to go to Los Angeles, California, and you can only imagine 20 years old in a rock band, all the temptations that you can be subjected in LA, and so. For them to have that connection as parents to parents was very cool.
Because it give your parents like a little bit of comfort, saying, "All right, my kid's good." I mean, it's kind of. I mean, yeah, I could definitely see it because they
I'm
felt
sure
like
they were worried about you.
yeah, if your parents were.
Oh, they're still worried.
They knew you were here playing the guitar, so they're like, "All right, we'll let them go."
Yeah, I'm a little more settled now.
Yeah, right. Yeah, we definitely would need tons of time to tell this whole story, but dude. So you finally make your way to Texas, and you hook up with Wade Bowen for a few years, and then you find your way to Jack Ingram, which is cool because I was digging through pictures. I was trying to find the other ones, but I couldn't find. Jack Ingram was what was it? Country Throwdown Tour. Were you on that with him?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so I did see you then. I was out at I have a picture of me and Jack from the Country Throwdown Tour when it was in Chicago.
Yeah,
and I was hanging around backstage and that was one hell of a show, dude. I remember seeing you guys play that day. I was like, all right. I haven't been back. You guys don't really play Chicago much anymore, but we're
not touring as the way we used to tour. It'll probably happen again at some point, I'm sure. But Country Throwdown it's probably my favorite tour as far as Memories is concerned.
I was gonna ask about that.
It was because it was the people from Vance Warped Tour that put that show together. Yeah. So I was finally hanging out with my kinfolk, tatted up, and
when they had like the side stage, Montgomery Gentry was out on it, and
Jamie Johnson.
Yeah, Jamie Johnson was a hell. I mean, Eric Church, Jonathan Singleton, The Grove. Those are good guys. Our good friend.
Yeah, and it didn't do too well attendance-wise. It wasn't like a tour that did too well, but it was a hell lot of fun. But.
Because what I remember about it is when the tour first started, Eric Church was on the side stage and his fans bitched. We were pissed, dude. We're like, no, he should be on the main stage. And by like the second or third show, they ended up moving him to the main stage. I remember
because he blew up around that time. So it made
they
sense,
kicked him off the side stage to the main stage. I was like, all right, that was hell yeah.
And I think Jack got bumped down to side stage.
Did they?
Oh no.
Maybe that's why.
I'm not sure. I don't know. I can't remember. I didn't care. I was just having fun.
You're
Hell
having
yeah,
fun
dude.
playing.
My
That's
guitar
for
and-
sure.
And that's what I learned about you. It doesn't matter if you're
That's cool.
at the Ryman or anywhere you're out, you're just gonna have fun. And if, like I was gonna mention your first place playing in Nashville was Wayland's Memorial. Was that at the Ryman or at the
Yeah.
Opera House? It was at the
Yeah,
Ryman.
it was a Ryman, yeah.
Dude, I mean, how you leave over here in London and not knowing you got this backpack, you come over and look what you just kind of, but it's hard work, it's passion, it's you had the motivation to keep on going. That's what I love about this story, man, because nothing was going to slow you down. You knew what you loved, you knew what you wanted, you went and got it.
I wanted the adventure. I wanted to be present in the moment. I wanted to experience it all, and I think that's beyond my guitar capabilities. I think that's what really did it for me, is that I was always on the go. Right, are you ready to leave on tour tomorrow? Yes. So what happened with Jack? I went to, what's that?
It's an up for adventure.
Mm-hmm.
Always, and I think that made a big difference. I mean, when I auditioned for Jack, after the audition, I was the only one that showed up at the audition in Austin, and I thought, well, that's kind of weird. And because once they found out that I was around Austin area and I was available, they'd be like, all right, he's our guy. So after the audition, they goes, well, what are you doing? I said, well, I'm staying at my friend Django's house, Django Walker, who's Jerry Jeff's kid. I said, I'm staying at his house, and I just moved back to town from California. I don't know what I'm going to do. And they said, well, are you ready to go? Get on the bus tonight. I said, all right. And
what's your favorite song to play out there with Jack when you're out, or when you're out playing? What's the favorite song he'll pick and be like, all right, I got this one?
well, Barbie Doll is always a fun one to play.
Nice.
I like to play Barefoot and Crazy. Like the last 3 songs of the set are always kind of the same, and it's Love You, Barefoot and Crazy, Barbie Doll, and that's like pretty much rock and roll. So I enjoy playing those.
Oh yeah. Dude.
But I like playing slow songs a lot. So we do Sunday Morning Coming Down, Chris Christopherson song, and as we do a cool version that's very bluesy. I enjoyed that. And then we'll play Tin Man on the stage with him too, and that Miranda performs, and that Jack co-wrote, of course.
Yeah.
So yeah, I like playing all of the songs. I wish we played more of the old songs. We got to get on that.
Right. I love it, dude, because you always had the love for music. Like I said, you felt at home coming out here, and the music made you feel home. And it's a true example of something having the American dream, like I mentioned earlier, just because you dreamt it, you saw it, and you went and got it. And I love that for you, and I love that where you're at. You just dropped, was in October, was it Me and My Guitar? So your brand new EP you just put out. Or was it EP or is it a full album?
No, it's an EP. It's just
EP?
5 songs. Yeah, I had wanted to just release some songs that I had written the past year, but I'm not ready to go in the studio and do a full-length album right now, meaning a full band and everything, because it costs a lot of money to do it. And I thought, well, I can just go and demo up some songs. So they're all like one take, and it's 5 songs. And I'm releasing. Yeah, it's just for the sake of the song. That's why it's called Me and My Guitar. It's all about the songs. And then I got a volume 2, part 2 coming out December 15th.
Hell yeah, dude. I love that, dude. I cannot wait to hear that, because dude, some good stuff on there. I love that you stepped, like, you're doing your own thing, because you started, what was it, 2009? I think I read you started writing your own songs and but really playing guitar, you've been kind of writing your own songs. You've been writing guitar licks, sure, in your head and making up your own guitar licks all the time. That's part of a song, man. That's just right there with it.
Yeah, it's always, well, for me, it's always melodies first.
Yeah.
Lyrics tend to come second. Well, I started doing TikTok, and that's a great avenue for me, because I post like a video a day, and it kind of gets my brain going. I'll do just straight guitar videos. Sometimes I sing a cover. Sometimes I sing one of my songs.
Hell yeah, man. TikTok's goofy for me. I'll go on there. I'll post some stuff every now and then, but then it's like, all right, I don't know this.
Well, I tell you what, some of my friends go, well, you're going to stop dancing? And I say, well, maybe I will.
Like, hey,
but it's
all right.
But it's a tool. It's just like, you can go on Facebook and talk about politics all day.
Yep. Exactly, dude.
You
Exactly.
can go to Instagram and post, your booty on it all day long. So people do different things. I don't know.
I agree, dude. The world is always a changing, man. I've been going through a lot of nostalgia the last couple of days. My parents brought totes and totes of stuff over here, and I've been
Yeah.
through it, and it's just crazy seeing stuff from like the '90s and just from growing up and stuff.
Oh,
But,
you guys got a cool setup in the back. I love it.
Dude, this is
Well,
this is all my Eric Church stuff. So this hummingbird behind me, he gave me actually where you guys played in Chicago.
Oh, no shit.
My 100th show I saw, he called me on stage, he gave me his Gibson hummingbird.
And that's a Gibson. Wow, no
It's a
kidding.
Gibson hummingbird, dude. It stays in that case.
Man, he's generous.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was crazy,
That's cool.
man. But it's just all this stuff that I never threw anything away. I started watching them probably 2006 and got to watch them grow, and it was really cool. And it just made me my love for music even more because he's a singer songwriter dude first, and that's why I love it. He doesn't care about genres. He doesn't care about politics. He doesn't care about any of that shit. He just wants to
he's-
care about
he's
the
really
music,
good.
and he wants to connect you with the music, and that's what I love about it.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Music first, dude. Always music first.
That's right.
But you're badass and you have some badass music. You guys need to go out there and check it out. Download everything you can. Me and My Guitar, start there and then dig back a few other ones on the past catalog. We are going to move on to our sponsor, our Powered by Poddeck section of the night. So I did pull 2 cards earlier. And the first one, who has mentored you or taught you the most about being a musician?
Oh, I don't know. Well, to tell you the truth, I think
Vinyl, maybe?
no, because that's my childhood. You know, I discovered many styles of music in my teenage years, and then also as an adult here in America about being in country music. Shooter was a big influence when I first started out because he was born into it, so he gave me the rights, the records. I was about CDs, not records. But I think also Jack, because I've studied Jack on the road. We're best friends. We love each other. You know, and I've been playing with him for a long time. But I also study. I always paid attention to what he was doing. So I think most likely Jack is really kind of a mentor because I've seen him over the years going through the struggles of not just writing, but how to get your songs some places and dealing with the industry and all that. And we were there, you know, with him to the whole thing. So I learned a lot. And I started writing in 2009. I've already been playing with him. So I know that by seeing him doing what he does, it just kind of seeped through and into my own.
What was the first song you wrote? Do you remember?
I think it was called My Love. That's the first song that I wrote that was finished.
Nice. All right.
I had one called Long Way From Home that I never finished. I still play it once in a while. And I wrote those, like, I think around My Love, probably like around 2005, 2006. But I really started in 2009. That's when I really just sat down, and I'd moved to Nashville. So I was hanging out with a lot of songwriters, and I was picking their brains by just going to jam. And the next thing you know, I started finishing one song after another, and I just got the bug. And
I'm sure the other one you'll finish when the time is right too. Like it'll hit you one day, be like, that's the ending of the song. I gotta finish it.
or maybe it's not meant to be finished. Who knows?
That's true too, man.
You know,
that is very true. I love that.
Talking about mentors is another guy that I need to mention that passed away last year is Mr. Billy Joe Shaver.
Mm-hmm.
And Billy Joe Shaver, I got to meet him and becoming friends with him. Got to play a couple of shows with him, and he was a big influence on my songwriting too. He used to say that the fun was in the process of writing a song. He hated finishing a song because once it's finished, that's it. You don't get to play with it anymore. It's kind of like the cat and the mouse.
Yeah.
It's not about the kill. It's about the
building up
The
to
chase.
it. Yeah. I love that, dude. I love that. So our second one that we pulled earlier was, other than your instrument, what is one item that you must have on stage with you when you perform?
glass of wine.
Oh, okay. What kind? What's your wine of choice?
Cabernet.
All right.
House cab. I'm not picky.
I love that though. I love that. You gotta have that little drink with it. So
Yeah.
our next segment we're gonna do is called Connecting Memories with Melodies. I'm gonna play like 6 seconds, 7 seconds of a song, and the first memory you have with this song, let me know. So go ahead and play that first one.
Just a good old boy.
I had to hit you with this one. So when you hear this song now, what comes to your mind right away?
5 years old, watching TV, thinking I'm one of the Duke boys, and falling in love with Daisy Duke.
Daisy
Oh
Duke.
man, dude, I know.
My first crush.
Yep.
Always. All right, go ahead. I have put some Revolver out there. When you hear that, what do you think? I mean, does it take you back to that show? Or what do you think?
It takes me back to the end of Stargun and the end of my journey in Los Angeles and new beginnings. So it's sweet memories because when that all came out, I was already moved to Texas, and yeah, I love that song. I really love it.
It is one of my favorite. That's why I had thrown in there. I love that song.
I never met Scott. I only saw him live, and
I got to see STP a couple of times. I saw Velvet Revolver once, and I saw Scott solo once. My cousin was a diehard Scott Weiland fan.
Yeah.
I know it killed him. He showed up to our house for the Halloween party when you were dressed as Scott Weiland. I remember that. So, but yeah, definitely one hell. We lost some good ones early, man.
I know. It's sad. Him and Chris Cornell. I was around when Audio Slave was being put together. So, yeah. So that's like I think end of the rock and roll era is Audio Slave and Velvet Revolver. I think after that was it. It hasn't been rock and roll the way.
Yeah, a few have tried, but they haven't came close, man. That 90s, like late 90s, early 2000s, a lot of it faded. So I was wearing a Silverchair shirt the other day. I was like, man, I remember those guys from back in the day. I'm sure you remember Silverchair. You remember that band or no?
Silverchair, of course, but that's like the 90s, isn't it?
Yeah, that was like mid.
Yeah.
They were a jam.
The only other band that still does the rock and roll thing is Buck Cherry.
Yeah.
Yep. Buck Cherry.
And Guns N' Roses is back. I saw them in Dallas a couple of months ago. They were fantastic. So,
well, speaking of that, go ahead and hit that next song.
Oh,
I don't know what color you've got.
That's it. So when you hear this lick, where does it take you, man? Does it take you back to high school? Where does it take you?
Yes, it takes me back to, I didn't last long in high school, so yeah. But yeah, my teenage years, I used to have the VHS tapes live in Tokyo. Usual Illusion 1 and 2 live in Tokyo, and I used to jam along to it all the time, and I had Slash's posters all over my walls.
Cool.
So when I first met Slash, I was just pretty trying to keep my cool, and then when I got asked to play live with them and rehearse and do all that, I was like a really cool thing.
Yeah, meeting the person, the poster on your wall is always like, you're always like starstruck at first. I grew up having Hulk Hogan on my wall, and I met him when I was 10 years old. I was like, I didn't know what to say. Like I had all these words. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna tell him this, and boom, he's in front of me. Like, what?
Well, I've always said Jeff Beck is the best, but Slash is the coolest.
Hell yeah, dude. Slash is a badass. Dude. Hell yeah, man. All right, go ahead and play that last one. You're gonna like this one.
Okay.
So when you hear that,
I'm doing it on my own. Well, we're just talking about Billy Joe Shaver. He wrote it, so there you go.
So when you
I
hear
believe that was Hank Jr. Yeah.
What do you think? Where does it take you, man, when you hear that song?
Well, it takes me to why I fell in love with the United States. America, the road. That kind of country music that I love. That's almost edgy rock and roll. Real singers. They were pushing the voice and the songwriting. Yeah.
I love that, dude. All right, man. We're gonna do the hot seat. So it's about 60 seconds, and then we'll get you to play a couple songs before we wrap things up. If you're cool.
All right.
Go ahead, hit that. All right. Our first one, the first vinyl you ever purchased.
The Animals, Best of the Animals. I was 7 years old. I wasn't making money, so my parents bought it for me, but that was the first purchase that I asked for.
Mine was Soul Asylum, Grave Dancers Union.
There you go.
I remember that still. What was your favorite thing to do as a kid?
Daydream.
That's a good one. All right.
I like that.
Who has the best pizza you've ever had? Where's it been?
Oh, I don't know. I don't really care for pizza too much, to tell you the truth. No.
All right. Was pizza in France different than it was in the States, or it's about the same thing?
Well, like I said, I didn't really grow up eating pizza too much, but I think the best pizza I've ever had was in New York. I like the thin sliced pizza. I don't like the Chicago style, the thick.
All right. The strangest thing you've ever seen in the middle of the road?
Our naked drummer crossing the highway.
All right.
In Stargan.
What was the first car you ever owned?
It was a Cadillac Seville. White Seville, yeah.
One thing people buy that you think is a waste of money.
A lot of things. TVs.
All right. What's your favorite holiday?
Probably Christmas.
All right. When you were a kid, what was the first thing you wanted to be?
Oh God. As far as I can remember, I wanted to be a sniper when I was a kid.
Hell yeah.
I was a little psycho kid. I loved guns, and I wanted to be a sniper. And it's probably why I grabbed the guitar, because it's kind of like
Yeah. Well, there you
powerful.
can snipe people with your songs, man.
That's right.
Yeah. There you go. What's your favorite microwavable food?
Man, for the longest time, especially when I was broke, Hot Pockets.
Hell yeah.
Ham and cheese, croissant crust.
My favorite. There you go.
Nailed it, dude.
My
All right,
favorite.
man. So you done some really cool shit, man. You woken up to hearing Jesse playing the piano and Waylon playing or singing. You got to play the rhyme, and you've been on tour with Jack for a while. What do you still want to accomplish? What is still on your bucket list that'll make you feel successful for what you're doing right now?
Well, that's a good question, because I think, especially with everything that's happened in the past year and a half, I can be content to just play with Jack and do my solo shows like I'm doing right now, like, you know, around DFW area. But it would be great if I could reach out to more people, eventually make albums that have bigger production, meaning that don't record an album and he falls into deaf ears and just trying to promote it. But I don't know how to do that, even though I know how the business works. I'm not going back to Nashville and, you know, try to play the songwriter's game. So the only thing that can make sense to me is to just like Jack sings, you got to keep on keeping on, and just stay creative, stay out of trouble, stay healthy, be nice to people, play as much as possible, because I've tried to go out of my way to let people know what I do. I'm not going to sit around. I'm just going to go out and play and record. And
you can do it, make it happen.
Because I don't know, I thought about it before. You know, I know a lot of people have moved to Nashville or LA wanting to be this or that without really thinking about who they really were. And I'm not a person that I think needs to be in the spotlight, really. I love to play and I love to be on the stage, but, you know, I don't think I could fall in being a big star. You know, it's a lot of pressure, you know, and it's a lot of
playing guitar for you.
You know, I'd be happy if I keep making a living and playing my music and, you know, obviously get bigger crowds if it's possible. But I'm in no hurry. I'm already in my 40s. I've already done so much, you know. We talked a little bit about it. So I just want to keep cool, level-headed, and stay genuine to the art. You know, that's what's most important.
I love that.
And eventually become famous for my dance on TikTok. But,
Yes.
I haven't come up with one yet.
If you ever have a viral TikTok, I'll do a viral TikTok dance. I'll do one too. I'll stitch it and do one too with.
Yeah, we'll do what they call it, a duet.
Yeah. I'll do that, and we'll do a dance together. If it ever goes viral, I'll do it too.
That's funny. That's great.
Oh man. All right, man. Well, yeah. Do you want to tell us about the couple songs you're gonna play tonight? Never Meant to Hurt You and Nighttime Is the Right Time are the two songs that you're gonna play for us tonight. Give us a little backstory on these two.
Never Meant to Hurt You was written in a hotel room outside of Dallas, and it was a night that I spent alone and reflecting on a past failed relationship that took me quite a few years to get over. So it's kind of a mea culpa for the things that transpired. And Nighttime Is the Right Time is about, it's about spending an evening with my lady at the time, and the windows were open and the train tracks were down the road, so we heard the train, and we had some wine, and I got inspired to write a song about it. You know, the French.
That wasn't the house wine though. That was you got a little expensive bottle.
No, actually, there might have been sangria. We were drinking a lot of sangria back then.
All right.
Like the big jug, you know, for $10.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, dude.
It's good because you can drink more and not be as drunk. Because in wine, they'll get you pretty drunk. I pretend that I can handle it, but
Not so much.
You get a little wine drunk there.
So do you want me, is there a specific order you want me to play the songs?
No, man, I'm just going to go ahead and give you the stage for both of them, and I'll come back after the end of the second song.
All right, cool.
All right, man. Here you go.
All right, sweet. Please say that you miss me while I was gone away. You said never forget, but can you forgive what's been done to you? 'Cause I'm never meant to hurt you, and I don't wanna be without you. This road, is it a blessing? Is it a curse? Sometimes I wonder if I never left you, would you still love me? I guess we'll never know. But I'm never meant to hurt you, and I'm still thinking about you. All right. When I get much older, will I remember the good and the bad? It seems like an illusion, fool's paradise. I realize, 'cause I'm never meant to hurt you, and I don't wanna be without you. But I'm never meant to hurt you, and I'm still thinking about you. All right. All right, this one was called Never Meant to Hurt You. This next one is called Nighttime is the Right Time. Check it out. Nighttime, you know it puts me at ease. You lay your head and close your eyes by your side. It all seems so easy when the train rolls by. Outside our window, talk to me, baby. Say something sweet. Drink our wine and take our time. 'Cause tomorrow is never promised. One more ride before we wake in the morning. Nighttime is the right time. Nighttime is the right time. That's right. Your loving is making me howl at the moon. I can drink on whiskey that goes down smooth. Another ray of sunshine will come my way as long as we try to make it through just one more time. Away from this world and out of sight. The summer's over, but I pray that we'll find the meaning of it all. But as for now, nighttime is the right time. Nighttime is the right time. Let's blow the candles and close the door. You mean so much. Your love is to die for. But nighttime is the right time. Nighttime is the right time. That's right.
Dude, that was awesome. I was over here jamming out.
Sounded all right?
Hell yeah, it sounded awesome,
Right on.
man. Now you can find those both on your new EP.
So Nighttime is the Right Time is on the album Love is Blood.
Nice.
And Never Meant to Hurt You is on the album Praise. So if people want to go to bluesdestroyers.com, on the front page, you can click on album covers and you can just find your favorite streaming service.
Nice.
One-stop shop.
Now, if they're looking up for you on like Apple Music, would they look up for the new one, for the Me and My Guitar? Is it by your name or is it Frenchie's Blues Destroyers?
Yeah, it's under Frenchie.
Okay.
And but like I said, if you go to the website, you can click on the album covers and it will take you. It's like a smart link with Apple Music, Spotify.
Look in the notes section. You guys are gonna find all the links for him to connect. Oh, dude, this has been awesome.
Oh, I'm so glad you invited me to do this. It's great. Yeah,
this has been a blast, man. I've been looking forward for this one ever since I heard, like I said, heard the Jack and Round podcast. I was like, dude, I would love to talk with this guy. This is just badass. We were looking forward to this and definitely excited for it. So thank you so much for spending an hour here.
Thank you guys. Yeah,
Thank you.
So
This was great.
we'll do, and we gotta get you out to Chicago sometime too. I mean, I would love to hear some of that music out here in Chicago. We gotta do it.
I need to go to Buddy Guy's Legends.
Dude.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be a place for you to play. Hell yeah, dude.
I would love to go there. I would love to go see Buddy Guy. I saw a couple of days ago, he was playing at the club again.
Still playing, dude.
Yeah, man. And that's what I'm
Still
talking
going.
about. You know, I'm in no hurry. I'm 41.
Mhm.
They're like, he's probably 80 years old, I think.
Those blues guys, they played for a long. It was Chuck Berry, I think. He played forever, dude. Like he was still jamming.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Rolling Stones are still playing, so you know, I'm like a baby still.
Yeah.
We went and saw. I mean, granted, it was all vocal tracks and everything else. We went and saw Frankie Valli in October, and dude was still moving on stage.
Yeah.
Though.
Yeah.
He was moving and grooving. So,
well, you know, Muddy Waters said it best. You know, he said, "I'll play till the day I die." You know,
Yeah.
dude, I think
that's
Willie
what we
like
do. Willie's playing. He's 84, 85, or something.
Willie
like
will
that.
drop on stage. I mean, that's all he knows. Because if you take, I feel like if you take Willie off stage or off the road, he's gonna die because I think the road's keeping him alive. Like I really feel that way about him.
You do what you love.
Oh yeah, that's what he loves. That's all he's ever known. And
there's only two ways to go. Either in the middle of a guitar solo or during sex. That's it.
I hear you, dude.
True.
Either one would be a hell of a good night.
And die a happy man.
Die a happy man either way.
Yeah.
I don't want to linger on and.
Well, dude, thank you so much. I wish
Thank
you
you so
nothing
much.
but the best, man. I cannot wait to see where you go from here, man. I can't wait to see in your next 40 years what brings you, dude.
Yeah.
So
Thank you. Well, we'll revisit, you know, down the line, and you know, if you guys get bored in Chicago, come down to Texas. You're more than welcome.
We need. To get, I need
We
to get
just
back
said we
there.
needed to get. We haven't been to the southeast. The south.
Well, we haven't done.
Southwest.
We got to do like Arizona, New Mexico, but I want to get back out towards Texas. I want to do another like Route 66 run. We went.
Yeah, there you go.
In June, we went out to Durant, Oklahoma. So we were really close to Texas in June. We went out there to see a concert, and I want to get a little further south next time.
Did you gamble at the casino in Durant?
Man, No, we didn't.
I don't think we actually did.
So we're good with casinos. We'll take what we need and we'll leave what we don't need. So like debit cards, all that stays in the car. What we need is like $20 and that's all.
Yeah, I told Jack, I said, quit playing casinos. I'm like literally paying to play at this point.
Yeah, right.
Yep. Frenchie, go ahead and drop your website one more time. People in the chat are asking about it.
Yeah, do I type it in or just say it?
No,
Oh,
just
okay.
that's it.
So it's www.bluesdestroyers.com.
Cool. And it should be in all the show notes as well, to all the links.
It'll be,
yeah,
it'll be on our page. Yep, all the links.
So, all right, man. Well, thank you again for everything, and we can't wait to see you down the road, man.
Sounds good. Thank you for having me.
Bye.
All
Take
right.
care.
Have
All
a
right,
good
take
night.
care. All right, see you.
Man, that was a fun one.
Yeah, he's so fun.
I love talking with him. That was so cool. If you, like I said, if you guys haven't seen the podcast Jacking Around, I know I keep going back to that. Go check that out because that's where I met this guy. That's where I laid the groundwork for him, and I was just blown away by everything he's done and said. And we could have gone an hour with all the stories he has.
Oh, I'm sure he has a ton of stories.
I mean, they see people make their own luck or this and that. I feel like people are just destined for things. And leaving London and going to LA, I mean, within weeks, he stumbles on Shooter Jennings, just the son of country music royalty. It's just, he didn't stumble on it. It was meant to happen. It was designed that way. I mean, the world needed his guitar. I feel. And they needed his vocals, his songwriting now. So the world needs Frenchie. That's why we got him over here. We got lucky too. What are you thinking? You have fun tonight?
Yeah, it was a great show.
It's been a long week, I think. I'm ready for it though. That's what I looked for. Yeah, that look like,
No.
All right, y'all. Well, we're gonna wrap things up. It's been a great night. Thank you for joining us tonight on episode 110 with Kevin Frenchie. What was it again? Go ahead. It was Sciou or Sciou.
Sciou.
I told you it's Sciou.
Sciou.
Kevin Frenchie Sciou. And that's why you're like, no, it was the other way. It was Sciou. You know it. He is the definition of the American dream. Frenchie continues to grind every day and works his ass off for the music industry and really us, the fans. We want to wish him nothing but the best, and can't wait to see what the future holds for him. So he is definitely, if he keeps going where he's going, he's going to do some great things. So can't wait. Maybe he'll be part of the next super band that they put on, the next project band. You're going to see
Okay,
Kevin
cool.
Frenchie Sciou up there jamming
Very cool.
away. So,
For sure.
all right, y'all. We'll see you guys next Monday night. We can't wait. See you then.
The Gainin Fast on Memphis podcast with Aaron Schreiber is brought to you by Arlo Revolution. As we close the book on another chapter, remember, music gives a soul to the universe, wings to the mind, flight to the imagination, and life to everything. Next week, Aaron connects more melodies and memories with other fans and the artists they love. Thanks for being a part of this musical journey, and we'll see you next time on the Gainin Fast on Memphis podcast with Aaron Schreiber.